here. Okay, we are in Blender now. So basically what I want to do on the screen today is just show you guys how we can create dust particles that look somewhat like, let me see if I can bring that up, somewhat like this, right? uh, it's very easy to create something like this. So uh, that's what I want to go about showing you guys, like how we can use particle simulation to create dust particles in your scene, right? So to start with, what we are going to do is just to control and delete everything, because we're gonna start from scratch, right? That's what the stream's about. So let's add a monkey, and we're gonna use this monkey as our center object. I am extreme. It seems like my mic was far away, so hopefully now you guys can listen to me, and it's a little better. So basically, let me repeat myself. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to create dust particles using particle simulation in our stream today, right? I'm not sure if you guys can see me though. It looks like I'm stuck. Am I stuck? No. Hello? Okay, everything is working fine. The stream looks stuck. Okay, looks like it's not. Okay. Seems like I'm back again. So the way we create dust particles is obviously first we need to create different types of particles, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an icosphere first of all, and I'm gonna move it here, and let's add a modifier here, that is the decimate modifier, and I'm gonna reduce it all the way up to here, and that's fine. It can look like this. So I'm going to duplicate this, and let's increase it to 0.05. Now we've got like 4 corners. Let's duplicate it again, and this time we're going to increase it to 0.09, maybe have a little bit more, right? Now the goal here is just to create different particles which are separate from each other. It's just going to give a little bit more realism to your simulation that you're gonna create, right? So then we're gonna take this particle, move them a little bit further away from our object so that we have plenty of space. Now I'm gonna click M, and that is for new collection, and then I'm gonna hit new, and let's name it particles, right? So all of these icospheres that we just created are moved to this new collection. Now we can click on our object and add a cube. This cube is something that we're going to use for our simulation again. So let's add this, and let's change this cube from a normal one to just bounce, right? So that it's not obstructing our view here. So the first thing that we'll do is basically add some volumetric here, because without volume dust particles won't look that great. So let's try and add a little bit of volume in this, right? And I'm gonna keep the EB as, what do you say, EB as my render engine. We can also use cycles. It will probably give us a better what do you say, better result. But let's try with EB first, and we can't see anything, and there is a major reason behind that, is because we have not created the volumetric material here, right? So we're going to name this volume, and let's delete principal BSDF, and let's add a principal volume here, and we're going to plug this into the volume. Now I think we should be able to see something. Let's increase this light a little bit more to somewhere around 1000, right? And this is giving me something, but that is not that great, right? So I'm just gonna increase it to maybe 10,000. Let's also add a camera here. So I'm gonna add a camera, and I want it to be facing in the front. So let's take this object, let's do 1, and let's do Control Alt 0, and that just basically makes it facing right onto your object, right? Now again, I can't see anything, and the reason behind that is the fog is very dense. So I'm gonna reduce it to 0.03. Now it's a little bit lesser, and to make it a little bit more dynamic further, I can add a noise texture, and let's add a color ramp right onto it. And not this, sorry, let's add a color ramp, right? And we're going to keep it linear. That's fine. Let's add it to density. It's gonna blow up again, but here I can change the position to 0.3, not 0.7, sorry, and this one should be 0.7, right? I'm gonna increase the scale to 10 and keep the rest the same. Now also reduce this to 0.03, and we are back, and this looks much better, right? Now after this, what I can do, so the way I did it in my scene is that I added a spotlight, and spotlight was easier for me to show the dust particles, but you can keep a point light as well. It's not gonna look bad. So now we're going to use the same cube that we're using for volume, but for the dust particles itself, right? So I'm going to click on this particle settings, and I'm going to add a new particle system. Let's name it dust particles, right? We're going to keep the amount of particles as 1000 only, but what will change is the frame start and frame end both to 1, so that all the particles are getting formed at the same time, right? But if you look closely a little bit, all of these particles are there on the surface of the cube, and none of them are there inside, right? So this basically doesn't give you anything similar to dust inside a volume, right? So to fix that, what you can do is you can go to the source tab and simply change it from faces to volume, and now all the particles are getting formed inside the cube, right? Inside the volume of the cube, which is great. So once we have created this, the lifetime of this as well, I'm gonna change it to 250 frames, because that's the total number of frames my animation is going to last. And sorry, 1 second, I don't know what happened here. Okay, yeah, so 250 frames is what my animation is going to last. You can change it basis of how long your animation is going to be, right? And apart from that, you can add a lifetime randomness of 0.1. Even if you don't add it, it doesn't make a big difference. If you add it, particles will disappear every once in a while, which is gonna give it a little bit more realism, but I'll leave that choice up to you if you want to actually do that or not, right? So once we're done with that, we have to come to this velocity tab and make sure that the velocity is set to 0. And we'll also go down and come to field weights and make sure that the gravity is set to 0 as well, right? And once we do that, now even if I play the animation, nothing's happening and all my particles are staying as it is, right? But dust doesn't stay stable. It wants a little bit of movement, right? So how do we bring that movement in? Well, it's easy. All we can do is just do a shift A, and we are going to add a force field, and we're going to add a turbulence force field, right? So I'm going to add turbulence, and the settings that I used were 1 for strength and 1 for flow. Flow is nothing but it just slows down your particle. So if you keep it at 1, it's gonna be a more like a natural movement. If you keep it lower than that, they will move a little faster than what they do, right? So if I play now, can you see the particles are moving in a very turbulent direction? And I would actually say that let's remove the lifetime randomness as well. Like it doesn't look that great and it's not worth it. So let's remove this. Let's refresh the simulation and let's see. All right, so this looks something like a dust particle, not necessarily exactly like it. So because the particles are way too big, right? And to fix that, we have already created a bunch of particles here, which are different type of particle materials. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to the render property tab, and here I can switch to collection and choose the collection, which is particles that I've created. Sorry, particles 001 for some reason. And here all my particles are already showing up. Right now I can click on pick random so that it doesn't pick the same thing at the same time everywhere. So I'm going to click on pick random. That's very important. And in addition to that, I'm going to reduce the scale to 0.01 because the particles are way too big and that doesn't look that great. So let's just do that. And actually it's it's showing a little bit weird, and the reason behind that is because we have set the volume to bounds, and that's affecting the particles inside that too. Let's just switch it back to a normal view here. Let me go solid. All right, now the particles are looking correct and we've got a bunch of particles, right? But we have not added any kind of material to our particle, and that is something that will give it a little bit more realism, right? So I'm gonna select this particle, one of them, it's fine, and I'm gonna click new, and let's say particle material, or we can just name it particle, that's fine. Here what I want to do is, first of all, I want to reduce the roughness so that these particle system that I've created will have a little bit of shine when it's interacting with the light. And along with that, I can also add a mix shader and add a translucent PSTF here, right? And why am I adding this? Well, it's just because this will give the particle the ability to pass some light through them, which is very cool. So I'm gonna put the factor all the way up to 1 so that it's mixing it completely. But yeah, so this is what I've applied to one of the particles. So let's apply the same thing to all of them. So all right, so we've got a bunch of translucent particles which can move in a dynamic way and just flow through, right? And if you still think that the particles are moving very slowly, then you can just simply increase the turbulence speed here. Like for example, I can go here and maybe increase the strength to 5, and now my particles are just going crazy, right? So it depends on if you want to give a more windy look or just a normal one. So that it totally depends on your preference, right? Now again, it doesn't look that great because it just looks like shard of glasses are just flowing through, right? So we can make it more realistic by first of all making sure that the ray tracing is enabled, right? And let me bring the light closer to Suzanne. Let me bring it here. Let me bring it in the front a little bit, right? So I can now see Suzanne, and let's just change it to spotlight just to make sure that we are getting more depth out of it, right? So let's click it here. GY. Okay, the easy way I like to adjust the light settings is just to add a tracker onto it, tracking constraint, so that whenever I move the light, my light's following my object. So if I do this, anywhere I move it, and actually it looks so cool. Can you see wherever the light is moving, the dust particles are getting revealed and they're looking so damn cool. Oh my god. Okay, so choose the choose the place that you want to keep your spotlight at, and then we're going to go back to the camera and just adjust it a little bit so that I can also get that cone out of here. So let's do it this way. All right, now one last setting that we should be doing is that clicking on the camera and enabling depth of field, right? There is a way where you can just select the object and the depth of field gets applied to it, and I'm gonna reduce it a lot. So if you see, but the issue is that since it looks at the center of the object, it's not always accurate. So what I tend to do is that I use this focus distance and manually adjust it until I see my object in focus, right? And now the dust particles are looking a lot more realistic because they are out of focus, and they are whenever they are closer to the camera they look more blurred. Whenever they are far away, then you can't make out the details anyways, so they are looking more realistic. Now I still think the dust particles are a little bit bigger than what they are supposed to be, so let's reduce the size of them a little bit more. So let's go to cube, let's go to scale and increase the randomness all the way over to 1, and then we're going to reduce the size to 0.0, let's say 9. That's a little bit, yeah. And I'm also going to increase the number of particles, so let's increase it to 3000. I want more in my scene for some reason. And now you can see that there's a lot of dust coming into your air, right? We can also click on this rotation and click on dynamic, and now the particles are not just stable, they are also rotating, right, along with the object randomly, which is a very cool thing, and it just gives it a little bit more realism to your entire scene. And this setup can be used to create so much it can be used to create scenes like fantasy scenes where you're revealing a sword, or you're revealing or you're creating some you're trying to create some kind of sorry you're trying to create some kind of reveal and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I think that was the primary goal of this. Along with this, I also wanted to show you the progress on the add-on that I'm making, right? And let's go to that next. So I made another section of the add-on which I think is really cool, and I'm sure you guys will like it. So you can, let me just quickly install that piece of it. Install version 2, this is the one, right? So this add-on basically creates volume for you, right? So now if you remember, I already have an add-on that has a lot of light presets which can give you different lighting conditions with just the click of it. But now along with that, you also get an option to create different kind of volumetrics, which is currently a work in progress. It's not live yet, but I just want to give you a sneak peek. So if I click on this now, if you see, there is a volume cube that is added, and that can add some kind of preset. So like the first one is morning fog, which is slightly blue in color, right? Then you can go for sunset glow, which is essentially is going to give you a lot of sunset colors here. You can also go for golden mist, slightly golden haze is what you get. There's ocean mist, there is night haze, so for all your night scenes where and again the light should be lower than this, but you get the point, right? And then you've got industrial haze, then you've got battlefield. So there are multiple presets that I've already researched, and I'm creating buttons and presets for you for those kind of scenarios you can choose from. There will probably be around 10 to 15 of these presets that I know currently, but yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to show. I just wanted to quickly come on live stream and show you guys how we can go about creating dust particles. And just FYI, that is also going to be a part of the add-on, right? So it's not like I'm not giving that to you guys. That's one of the features of the add-on that's gonna come in. So yeah, I guess that was a quick sneak peek into what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, uh, and yeah, a lot more to come. I hope you guys like this video. I don't want to keep you for too long. It was just a short stream that I wanted to do by quickly coming on and showing you guys a few things that I'm working on. I'm gonna end this stream now, and we'll do a lot more of these. This is my second stream, so hopefully I see you guys in the next one. We got a lot more views in this one, so which is amazing. And hopefully if we keep doing this, we get more and more viewers in the future, right? So thank you for everyone that joined in, and I'm gonna see you